Hello, everyone. I'm Joe McGovern, awards reporter here at TheWrap, and we are happy to have you here for a screening of Yoshiki Under the Sky with the documentary's director, Yoshiki. Let's take a look at the trailer for Yoshiki Under the Sky.
Music can bring us together. Music's very powerful to bring us all closer. 日頃僕らを支えてくれているファンのために何かできないかなっていう In this kind of difficult time.
Welcome back. It is my pleasure to introduce, of course, Yoshiki. It is so good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. The film is about, it's like a hybrid between musical performance and the story. The story part is pretty, how do you say, deep, really sad story actually. Then all those artists around the world are supporting the person who we lost or someone who lost a loved one. In general, in a nutshell, that's kind of story, but there's a much more depth to it.
Well, I think that anyone who's watching this, they know you for so many years as a rock star, as a classical musician, and then with a lot of crossover appeal. We should mention that in September, you had your hands put into the Chinese theater in Hollywood. I think the first Japanese artist to have that. But here you are at this point in your career, and now you have a new title, which is you are now a film director. When we see the film, there is the overlay, if you will, of the coronavirus, the COVID years, but it's also a film very much about right now. You even say in the beginning that your fans have written you and talked about dark days, but then you said you've had dark days too. What made you want to do this?
Because I wanted to lift up my fans. But at the same time, I was also in a dark place. Well, I would say, in general, if I'm not doing the music, if I'm not creating art, the fact I had to went through kind of bring me to the dark place, which I lost my father when I was young. Also lost a lot of band members. Also, during the process of making this film, I also lost my mother. Thank you. So if I'm not thinking, if I'm not doing something, trying to help people, actually helping me. It's so I'm trying to support people. That fact is actually supporting me. So anyway, so I wanted to, create something during the weird time, dark time, to support people. At the same time, there were so much restrictions. Of course, I didn't want to cross the line, but the human beings almost like we feel like how fragile we are, how powerless we are, from COVID and everything. As like there gotta be something we can do. There's something we can do even bigger than before. Something like this. That's everything started.
I'm going to go through some of the names in a minute. All the people who you brought in to collaborate with, and it's an amazing list. But I wanted to ask about this documentary also for some of us to let us know about your career. And we see some footage of you when with X Japan, and some of the footage that we see is quite aggressive. I mean, you have your shirt off and you're smashing the drums. What was it like to go back as the director and you have to look at all this stuff, revisit your life in this way?
I was very, how do you say, suicidal. I, I've been practicing piano, practicing drums and everything. I'm a musician, but I didn't want to live. It's very strange for me to say. I was almost looking for the time to die without having anyone. I was like, I didn't want to live. But for some reason, doing the music made it through. So that's why when I saw the footage, especially when I'm on stage, I was like, wow, crazy. But this kind of thoughts haven't actually gone away yet. But because of the fan base growing, there was like, wow, now I have a responsibility. I need to live for my fans. Something like this. It's the music and the fans started saving me. But when I look at all the footage, I was like,
you say that in the film that one of the reasons why you could never give up is because your fans would never give up. So that is a beautiful message that is all throughout the whole movie. However, there are so many good performances in the film. And I wanted to ask about the song selections, but then to name some of these artists that you collaborate. You have Sarah Brightman and St. Vincent, Scorpions. That's an amazing sequence. Stones, Nicole Scherzinger, HYDE, Lindsey Stirling, Chainsmokers, Zhang. So many. I'm probably forgetting somebody. What was it like reaching out during this time as well? And they all have such respect for you, and we see that as in the documentary. How did you figure out this group that you wanted to invite to be a part of this?
Good questions. The list was actually longer, but at the same time, so I wanted to collaborate with the artists. Some of them I already known, worked with before, or somehow I wanted this a group of people to be very eclectic. This film is about breaking down the world. So that also can be the world divides genres. So let's see Sarah Brightman. She's more like known as classical artist. No, she cross over genres, such as Chainsmokers. They are like more EDM. Scorpions. Very traditional. And then rock. So there's some pop artists, and then just wanted to, go beyond the genre. At the same time, some of them, let's see, Scorpions, right? So the song, The Wind of Change, which is a theme song for when the Berlin Wall came down. So I thought that was a perfect song. And also all those artists are very edgy. So I'm very grateful to be working with them. Yes.
What was it like just to see them? Because, as you said, you didn't cross the line. There's social distancing, but just to be around these people during a time when everyone was just lonely and needing to express themselves. What was that like?
First of all, it was a lot of work, So that was pretty much towards the beginning of COVID process. So people are facing unknown. So even social distance, how far should we be, right? So, the artist who came to the actually set, the artist driver had to test and COVID test and everything. There's the list is pretty much endless. At the same time, we wanted to express our art, our feeling, so this is a combination of like, I don't think we could have made this film during normal time because there's a lot of tension, not in a bad way, to express our feeling, but we are so limited.
You mentioned the Scorpion song, Winds of Change. And what about the other songs? Because there are some of your music is in there.
Yes.
Tell us about the other selections of songs and what should, I guess, because I was thinking about, I think Endless Rain is in the film, which is one of yours. And maybe that would be I don't know, there are many people on this, watching this who don't know you, but if people are coming to you music and want to listen to some of your hits for the first time, what would be your recommendations?
So Endless Rain is one of my, the compositions, which became pretty big. I started playing classical music when I was 4 years old. So I'm a classical trained pianist. At the same time, I went to punk rock. So more like a hardcore punk rock. It's like a very heavy stuff. So then when I debuted, let's see, early 20s, I was Sony record. Then the producer asked me, "You have classical music background, even though you're playing like thrash metal and crazy punk rock metal." Like, yes, I can write ballad. So, which is the first ballad I wrote. Then, pretty big hit. That song, I thought song was perfect. So towards the end of the film, everybody around the world, not only for people from Asia, people from US, people from Southeast Asia, people from Europe, they all join and sing this song. So, Endless Rain, Fall on My Heart. Kokoro no kizu ni means like, into our scars. Let me forget all of your hate, all of your sadness. So it's like endless rains is like washing away all your pain, all your sadness, something like this. So that kind of became the theme of this film as well. So which is also my composition. So that's the film kicks in with a song called Miracle, which I composed for Sarah Brightman. So that song is talking about like, we kind of like take it for granted what we have. Everyday life, like just, what we thought is normal was not, hugging people, shaking hands, and talking to each other for very close distance. So just very ordinary, usual stuff was actually a miracle. So I wanted to remind people what we have is a miracle.
Yeah. I wanted to also ask you about movies, because here you are as a movie director now, and I think that you spend part of your time in Hollywood, don't you? Don't you live there?
I moved here over 20 years ago and purchased a recording studio. That's part of the reason. It's just start being Hollywood, in a way. So then, because there are so many amazing editors and musicians and all those people here, so it completely makes sense for me to create, music to film and everything. So then I like Japanese food in Hollywood.
Right, exactly. We all do. What about you as a movie fan? And there's been so many great rock documentaries, music films over the years. Were there anything that you looked at, or did you want it to be more of an organic process that was very pure without comparing this film to other films?
So this film just happened, like, organically, like because of that COVID and everything, the collaboration and everything. As of now, I'm asked to direct one documentary film and 2 narratives by this moment. It's strange because of this film will, open up a lot of doors. I mean, in general, I love like something beautiful stories, like a Beautiful Mind or something like this. Kind of like Godfather and something like this. Yeah, there's no specific film I'm like, I can name, but I love like something beautiful cinematography film or something like this. Yeah, but I think creating the film and creating music process pretty much the same, I guess. I composed Japanese Emperor's 10th year's anniversary song. I composed piano concerto before. So there's some kind of like a verse, it's like a chorus, bridge, and everything. There was a structure. So yeah, when I was editing, then putting everything together in this film, I was thinking about, this could be like a symphony, could be, this kind of structure as well. So,
could you mention just briefly that the editing process, because the film could probably have been a lot longer if you wanted. I think it's very good the way it is, because the performances, are just so great, and then we get to also have the scenes. And I won't give away too much, but at the end we get a very emotional conversation between you and someone. What about the editing? What about taking all this footage and then finding a way to make a movie out of it?
Thank you so much for saying this. It was almost 3 hours long. It was so hard for me to say goodbye to some of the footage.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful, so meaningful, but doesn't make any sense in this context, So try not to focus on what I would have to convey. Yeah, it was one of the hardest things was try to condense to almost 90 minutes. Yeah, so had to get rid of almost 50% of it.
Yeah, but I guess that's an experience that so many film directors have, and now you have it too. Just the editing is sometimes the most challenging of all of the different steps.
Yes, yeah, because well, I was thinking what's the people's attention span these days? Could be shorter than before, or shorter than ever, or TikTok going on, but I'm not going to make it that short. But yeah, just trying to find the right amount of the length, and that was the hardest part.
And tell us about the title. Tell us about Under the Sky.
I lost my father when I was young. Actually, he took his own life. Also, I lost several members of my band. Also including, I lost my mother in the process. I was like, we are still here under the sky. We still breathe in this, under the sky. That's the reason I made it Under the Sky. We are not up in heaven yet. So we should live as much as we can while we are here. Also inspired by my fans. She lived her life. She didn't give up to the last minute. So combination, I thought that, title was Yoshiki, Under the Sky. I thought that was a good title.
Me too. There's at the end, without giving too much away, there is a reference to one of your fans, kind of going up into the sky. And this is a very emotional metaphor for us being under the sky and others being up in the sky. I wanted to ask, the film, as we've already discussed, it's very honest about some of your own dark times, and you do talk about this a little bit in the movie, but what is your best way to get through those days when you're just worrying too much? And right now we have wars going on, and people are very uncertain about the future. And what's your advice for just not worrying so much?
Good question, deep question. What I've been trying to do is trying to support people. Just support people actually is supporting me, which is we are here not to hate each other. We are here to spread love. It's a very basic thing, but yeah, if you think more and more, so we may make it through. So, the reason we are here is give love. Everybody trying to, maybe it could be some of that, maybe including myself, but trying to take love like that. No, we should give love. That ultimately, giving love, you take love. So
yeah, Yeah. Well, the other thing that the film does, I think, is also very good and very honest is it does get into talking about loss. And, you've mentioned it already now, and loss of friends and family, but even loss in a different way, like loss of our own place. How important was that for you as the director to make sure that that theme was present in the film?
Obviously, the film was started creating during the COVID, but this theme applies to any era, right? Why people are fighting, why people are why do we divide ourselves, so also why people give up, it's all those combination of somehow positive message from the dark story applies to now, also applies to the future. So I thought that was very important for me to complete this film. I almost gave up trying to create this film several times. There's so many obstacles.
Well, we're glad that you kept going, and I'm sure it's exhausting with everything else to have just the process of making any movie. I'm sure it is a lot. I wanted to ask a very big question, which is that where would you be without music?
I don't think I'm here. I don't think I'm alive. Music helped me through so many hard time, dark time. So yeah, when I was pretty confused and sad, I started writing, music. Actually, I literally write. I write the music score. So, I don't have to have a piano or anything. I just write. Also including lyrics. They combined everything, right? Then it's wow, this is beautiful. Then somehow I, decided to keep on going. There are so many times like that. So I start thinking this music can help me. That music can help others. I was wow, there's a reason. Maybe I'm still here. So maybe I'm okay to be living. So that kind of motivated me to be here in this world.
I'm curious to ask about the what it feels like, because we don't see in the film, we don't really see you in front of audiences because we couldn't at that time. But we should mention that you have played to sold out Royal Albert Hall and Madison Square Garden and Carnegie Hall. What is going on in your mind and in your body during those couple of hours when you're in front of the audience and you're sharing the music? What does it feel like?
Well, first of all, I look very crazy on stage. Yeah. It's wow, it's pretty crazy. Then when I was thinking when I'm on stage, I almost became don't get me wrong, I'm not a weird place, but I almost became medium. It's me playing piano or drums or performing everything. Just I just became medium. Just coming from the sky or something, trying to impress audience, trying to support audience, something like this. One time when I was playing Carnegie Hall, I was playing Beethoven. I practiced so much though, but that moment I was just watching my finger, wow, I was enjoying the music.
It's like an out of body feeling.
Yes.
You become an audience member, which is actually not very nice.
Yeah, I'm usually a little bit scared of ghosts or something like this, but
right,
that moment is beautiful.
As we finish up, I want to ask about the reaction that the film has received, because it is a gift to the fans, but it's also this feedback where the fans give you so much. And what has been so far, because, audiences have been seeing it. What has been the reaction that you've been able to get from some fans, and also maybe even from the collaborators, because they've seen it now too?
Yes. Pretty much everybody cries. Not in a bad way. Then, yeah, a lot of times people told me I decided to live. I decided to live as much as I can. So that's the, of course there are a lot more complicated, intricate answer, but in general, people say, I would like to live my life.
That's wonderful. I can't end without asking you about the future for you as, what you are now, a movie director. Is this the beginning of something? Because, what I also want to say is that there's so many milestones and anniversaries, and you just last year, 2 years ago, was celebrating the 40th anniversary of Japan X, and then recently the 10th anniversary of your first classical album. What is going to be maybe the next anniversary, or is this filmmaking journey going to keep you going on another path?
When I was making this film, I was like, oh my God, there's so many things you have to do. But at the same time, I loved it. So I fell in love with this making film. Sure, there'll be anniversary. It's going to be the some anniversary of being the director.
Yes, right.
Being a filmmaker.
I can only say we hope to see more and more collaborations. I mean, I think that's special also for the fans. I can say as a fan, it's just to see, and also in the documentary, that the moments that you share, just having a light conversation with some of your collaborators in the film.
Yeah, you know what? I liked it. I liked, even somebody singing my song, or I'm arranging somebody else's song. I start liking even more and more.
Yeah. Well, Yoshiki, I want to congratulate you on this and wish you the best, and Happy New Year. And also, let's see what else happens along the journey. And thank you for the gift.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you everybody else for joining in today, and be the first to know about upcoming screenings and get access to exclusive content and premium events by becoming a Wrap Pro member. You can join now. And for all screening information, including past screenings you may have missed, please visit TheWrap.com.